to start tonight by paying a bit of a tribute to Teri. This is a poem I wrote for her a couple of years ago. It's just called Teri. Clothed in love, she dwells in her heart. Open, vulnerable, and giving, she moves through life with joy, with pain, with curse words flying, with liquid love ever poised to pour from her shining eyes. Look closely. You might just glimpse from the corner of your eye her angel wings. And then a couple of months ago, she read a poem that she had written about me, and she tongue-in-cheek calls me the queen of haiku. So here's a regal royal haiku for you, Teri. Love you, Teri Petz. Smart, fun, generous, and kind. The best sort of friend. Please give some love and appreciation and gratitude for Teri. Yeah. My next poem is a tribute to Kat, our dear friend Kat. It was prompted by a line in her recently published book, Wildflower Seeds, The Beauty of a Reflective Light. So this is dedicated for Kat, and it's called, What Color Am I? My friend Kat calls them the yellows in her life. People who are bright, sunny, cheerful, radiating warmth and optimism and other good vibes. What color am I muse? Not yellow, and certainly not red with its fiery passion, a hint of danger, power, and strength, nor its weaker cousin pink, either insipidly bland or hot in your face. So maybe orange? Do I bring an atmosphere of warm and vibrant energy, of creativity, the colorful splendor of an autumn day? Well, what about blue? Do I have an aura of serenity, a lake's smooth surface on a brilliant summer's day, or a hint of the depth beneath that placid face? Maybe I'm more purple, with a hint of wisdom, mystery, my nature regal and connected to other realms. I'm definitely not the purity, elegance, emptiness of white, nor am I the boldness, sophistication, formality of black. Nor, I think, am I the muddiness, the down-to-earthness of brown, of soil supporting all that grows. So that leaves green, my favorite color, the hue of living things, of springtime growth, of emeralds, of freshness, newness, the color of healing. But on reflection, I think I'm really more of a rainbow, sometimes a richly colored contrast to a dark sky behind, other times a fading back into the mists from which it came. I think I'd like to be a rainbow. Thank you.
So I'm going to start out with a quote because most of my poems are about grief tonight because sadly I have to put my cat down tomorrow. So the quote is from Winnie the Pooh. It says, how lucky am I to have something so special that makes goodbye so hard. So my first one is about Jeff, who passed away. Kat told me to share it tonight, so it's called Jeff. To the poet who inspired me, did I ever tell you that you brought me out of the dark times? When I thought the day was gray, you brought sunshine to everyone's hearts. To the poet who inspired me, I bet the sunrises look better with you. Can you tell my grandma I say hi? To the poet that inspired me, what's heaven like? Are you still making people laugh? And to Jeff, you're the sunshine in everybody's heart. We miss your radiant smile and warm energy. And to the poet that once inspired me, thank you for sharing your story and being a part of this poetry journey. My next one is about my grandma Dorothy, who passed away in 2005. So this one's called Dorothy. I was 3 when you left this earth, your beautiful soul radiant like the sun. I think of you when I see roses, hear Johnny Cash playing. I miss you every day. I can't sleep right anymore. I hope you're proud of the person I've become. It hurts you're not here to admire sunsets, sunrises, trying new things. Grieving you never gets easier. I sit in the bath sometimes and think about what life would be like if you were still here. And I cry a lot because I know I can't bring you back.
I write a lot of serious stuff and a lot of fluff. And today is the fluff, not too serious. Move over Humpty is what this one's called. Move over Humpty, I've come to sit. Together we dangle our legs a bit. Let all life's matter dwindle this day like river that empties into a bay. May I walk with you, Alice? Please hold my hand. I want to wander through your wonderland. Talk to me, Tin Man. My ears only for you. I've finished all my talking to ears on faces that stare and do not care. Away we go, Bilbo, to people long forgotten, places near and far, mountains, lakes with only one star. Suffer me, Mahatman, can I sit and weave with you, forgetting all beyond that door, together whisper while the world does roar. May I ride with you, Mr. Potter, on magic broom or train, show me how to rid the world of all the hurt and pain. Sit with me, little bear. Let me make you full aware. I did not hear your people's call or see them reaching out with homeless, haunting doubt. And how sits that sip of vodka with horror by your hand, wrought on people near your land? And can you show me how to veer? How to hold back every tear? And what am I to say? Is it time for me to sit and watch a bit while world rolls by? Should I step forward and should I step back and try not to stumble on every crack? This is one in blank verse. Tommy boy, clean the mud off your boots, Tommy boy, or you'll not come in, or you'll not be coming in smelling horse and sweat and old man. Tommy sits and stares out the window at the old barn, deftly rolling a smoke with hands that can still do the task. You weren't so brash, little one. You weren't so brash, little one, when Bill and I helped your dad put truss in place and secure the frame before he did the rest as he found time. Old Tom still rides, though 30 years plus a few, looking like shrunken beef jerky and full of old man rumblings of things that were and could have been. It's been a long walk, Annie girl. Sorry. It's been a long walk, Annie girl, handling all that was coming up, all that was going down in my past years. Now, when sun comes up, I must get up, straight away to another day of who knows what, after horse is saddled. Maybe he will end it for me, somewhere down a quiet trail, or under green-leaved branches, waiting to render up an old cowboy. whose day is done. I'm not a sentimental guy, but I always have trouble with this last few lines. Annie turns to not show the tear that trickles down cheek to lip, knowing this may be Tommy Boy's last visit, and wishing time would stand still just once for him.
Well, this first little business that I'm going to do is just something like Gord was just mentioning, how sometimes you just write and write and write. And this has been one of those weeks. And somehow actually I was working on a song with a friend, and see, these are all just little snippets of different songs all smashed together. And I just have to do it a cappella, because that's how they came to me, is just lyrically. I just got to get my wits about me here now. There will be times you might find yourself recalling all the things you've done in your life, and find on the rewind you've always been inclined to follow your own path and inner light. And there may have been days when clouds darkened the way, solemnly covered the skies, but you've always survived. You've still been alive long after the storm has passed by. So love yourself like a guardian angel, nurturing and kind. But if you feel stressed or under duress, remember how to unwind. Write your way out. That's what I said. Write your way right out of your head. You can write yourself out of a wet paper bag. Write like you've gone on a psychotic jag. Write yourself out of a bottomless well. Write yourself out of your own personal hell. Write until the cows come home. Write like there's no tomorrow. Write until you learn to express the depths of all your sorrow. Then write to yourself, beginning, Dear Guardian Angel. Got another page here. Okay, thank you. I got to get in the right mood for this, because it's a slight change of pace. When I was a young man, I ran wild and free, without a care for my own destiny. Sometimes I fell in with bad company, but always I was my own worst enemy. And that was a pattern for a big part of my life. I spent my time dwelling in misery and strife. One day I woke up with a smile on my face. In a dream, I'd been blessed with forgiveness and grace. My eyes had been washed, and I could clearly see all the hurt I'd caused all those other than me. But I ain't going back to my old ways, hoping these lessons will stay with me. Now I'm living with care, and I'm living with caution, and becoming aware of my own emotions, and I ain't going back to my old ways. I'll be living in peace for the rest of my days. Yeah, living in contentment for the rest of my days, and I ain't going back.
Hello. Two new ones that I've never read before. You know that I don't write political poetry, even though I'm full of political opinions. But this one is not really, political, it's social political. My attempt, not super, bless you, not super, I still think it's a little bit too paternalistic, but we'll try. It's from summer though, and it only gets worse in winter. It's called City Lights. Just sit with it. Sit with the screaming silence. white noise, life happening outside the windows. Car after car after car after car, after unruly motorcycle, after impatient fire truck, after sweaty evaporating city bus, after car, day and night from dusk till dawn. Just lean into it. Lean into the blinding lights. Fiat looks, spying beams from the tall buildings. First the glaring sun, then glaring commercials, then glaring fireworks. There is no darkness here. Traffic lights so short, high pressure for pedestrians, endless green light for endless river of vehicles. Car after car after car. Just acknowledge it. Acknowledge the tiny stream of cool air coming from under the door. 15 degrees difference. No wonder the neighbors keep their door open. No wonder their baby doesn't stop screaming. Babies, they don't thermoregulate the way we adults do. Just savor it. It's loud, but the windows close. It's bright, but the blinds dim it. It's hot, but the walls give shade. It's tiny, but it's yours. Watch the neighbors that live below on the street, who eat off their grocery shopping carts, who sleep on the grass now that it's hot, who change between the tarp and the old WY fence, who enter the revolving door of the superstore to cool down and are immediately marched out through the same revolving door by the security, who wait in the long line for water, for a night's sleep, for the third-hand household items you generously donate each 6 months when you purge. It could be worse. It could be you. Any day now, it can be you.
This is called Always Coming Back Again. It's about the Gulf Islands, Gabriola, Nanaimo. You're always coming back again to coastal towns mute with fog. The ferry slipping in and out through the rain over impatient salmon piled in urgent millions at the river's mouth. The islands at the entrance to the harbor slide by, green and ragged in the evening mist. Scattered lights ride high on the island flanks. The drifting fog rises up out of hidden creeks, mapping out topography you'd never otherwise discern. Back there, beyond the lights, logging roads branch and branch out like arteries, rapidly shrinking from the mains to secondaries to winding shaded lanes to cobbled tracks with grass between the ruts. Diminishing to blocked out paths, pitching and yawing out of the dark green wet shade where the cedar red dirt washes down to bare haunted hollows choked with aspen and salal. This close to town, most of the land was logged off long ago. The replanted trees growing up to hide old stumps span wide, lost in the tangle that snares the fool who ventures off the track. Behind the ferns and the subdivided acreages, the creeks still run in dark ravines, spilling over ledges too high to climb, cutting sheer gorges through the bedrock, filling dark, cold pools among the borders. Geology will outlast us. The rising ocean may reshape this archipelago. The slow, inexorable creep of the tectonic plates will throw up greater mountains than already rim the strait. Who knows what will replace us? something shall. Life is tenacious, and we are not immortal. The smell of wood smoke in the damp air. One lonesome dog barking away off through the trees. The low, repetitive thrashing of the surf on the potholed beach below the road. The smell of wet cedar boughs in the dark. The house lights, warm and yellow as you round the corner. Okay, all these are for my friend Richard Stevenson, who some of you may know, who just died in Nanaimo over the weekend. Richard he's been gone for 2 or 3 years now from Lethbridge. For those of you who don't know him, or even those who do and don't know all about him, Richard was the most productive, most published poet person I've ever met in my life. He had about 50 or 60 books of poetry published all around the world. Every time I talked to him on the phone, he had another 1 or 2 coming out in some place like India or Croatia or wherever. But not only was he productive, he was also one of the most generous people I've ever met. Generous with his time, generous with his encouragement. It was a pleasure being his friend, and I shall miss him greatly. So the rest of these next 2 are for, well, they're all for Richard. And one of the things Richard did was he wrote a lot of poems for children around cryptozoology, if you know what that is. That's things like werewolves and Loch Ness monsters and Sasquatches. So I wrote this more or less to tease him. So I wrote him a poem about Sasquatch. Sasquatch in the roller rink, Sasquatch in the disco. The slickest thing in his little town, San Luis del Crisco. He kept his hair well slipped back, more hair than a bear has. It was all the look where he came from, back in the high Sierras. Most of his kin had moved along, chased out by the loggers. Sass had come the other way, seducing loggers' daughters. He'd done the risk analysis, calculated all the hazards, got his revenge on humankind, fathering hybrid loggers. There's times it gets too much for him. The time he packs it up to go, though. His kin are all away, long ways north, in the bush north of Nanaimo. They're working in the biker bars, running meth labs up in Crofton. His lot are a simple bunch. They don't feel guilt that often. No redeeming social value whatsoever.
Okay, my first poem tonight is my response to the world as it is right now. All shall be well. Julian of Norwich was a woman who lived in the 1300s in England. And what we know of her, we don't even know her name. Julian was the name of the church that she had a little hut built against, and she stayed there as what they called an anchorite, or a holy woman. She was a little older when she went and did that, though, so there's a lot of questions about her life before. Anyway, the quote that she's best known for is, "All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well." Hey, Julian, is that really your name anyway? Awfully suspicious that it's the name of the church you live next to. So is Julian just another name for anonymous? And isn't anonymous just another name for another brilliant woman? Anyway, Julian, did you really say that? All shall be well? What kind of drugs were you on? Hypnotized or just mentally unbalanced? I mean, just look around. Watch the news, for crying out loud. Hate to break this to you, but things are definitely not well. Black woman killed in her home, shot by the policeman sent to see if she was all right. Herds abandoned by allies to armies just itching for a little ethnic cleansing? Sexual slavery rings? Cages for migrant children seeking asylum? Opioid crisis, climate crisis, fentanyl crisis, housing crisis, crisis cries us, cries us, cries us. All shall be well? Try that line on a woman who just lost her child to a bullet. Are you kidding or are you nuts? I am not impressed. Yet, through the ages, you say, all shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. Does have a nice rhythm, doesn't it? Deep down, though, I don't think you were nuts. You lived during the Black Plague, which killed 1 out of 3 people around you. Maybe the plague killed your children and spouse, and that's why you ended up living on the side of a church, never leaving that tiny room. An anchorite with window open to listen to all who came to tell you their heartbreak. Asking you to pray with them, for comfort, for strength. Though you didn't get around much, the evening news came to you. Hour after hour, day after day, year after year, through that tiny window to the world, you knew how much we suffer. You know how much we hurt, how much we need. Some things just never seem to change. All shall be well, and all shall be well. Well, I guess I can hope. Maybe someday I can believe it. After all, some days, underneath it all, I find myself wordless, watching a magpie watching me, seeing the tenderness of an open-hearted soul, feeling thank you arise from my bones, and I hope, and I watch. The tension of opposites. I hold it all, waiting for a creative resolution, a creative revolution, creative resolve. My creative resolve, my resolve to be creative, to think thoughts never thought before, to create in the middle of so much destruction. All shall be well, and all shall be well, and all manner of things shall be well. I hold it, I create. I hope, I watch, I resolve to be creative while watching for the creative revolution. And just perhaps, all shall be well. May it be so.
If you would receive my love. If you would receive my love, it won't be for my service. You don't need service. Oh, but it would be nice to be fed and bathed and laundered like your mother did when you were helpless. But I don't provide unpaid service. If you would receive my love, it won't be for my production. You don't need production. Oh, but it would be nice to have a milking cow to bake your prodigy and raise up your legacy to look like you and act like you, like your wife did when you were in charge. But I don't provide dutiful productions. If you would receive my love, it won't be for my exhibition. You don't need exhibition. Oh, but it would be arousing to have a beautiful, hairless, speechless, thoughtless doll, to enact your fantasies and be a porn star and a prostitute with her plastic parts and wild fake orgasms and willingness to drop, lift her skirts like your lover did when you were perverted. But I don't provide exhibition. If you would receive my love on my terms, and in my capacity, I would heal you, teach you, envelop you, in my art, in my gratitude, in my poetry. If you would receive my love, I will provide warmth and rest and safety, and I will calm the electric cry of your animal brain. I will steady the beat of your cannibal heart. I will summon the tears of your angel spirit. I will cut the ties of your apron mother. I will provide the value of your existence. I will beat the drum for your warrior battle and slay that toxic dragon up your sleeve. I will call out your slap the grin off your face, pour your addictions down the drain, dress your wounds in silk bandages, bust you out of the dungeon, turn your house into a zoo, your zoo into a sanctuary, your sanctuary into an oubliette, your oubliette into a cocoon, and turn your maggot into mush. I could go on, but you see it. A world with me is free but costly, alive and deadly. Will you receive it? Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's my first time here. I'm very, very new to Lethbridge, and this is my first actual event anywhere in Lethbridge, so I'm really excited for that. Thank you. What I wrote for today is, it's called What Love Is. And for that, I would just like to share a few lines in my own regional language, which you won't understand, but out of respect, I wanted to say it, because that inspired me for my poem here. So it goes like, Zindagi se yahi gila hai mujhe, कि तू बहुत देर से मिला है मुझे. हमसफर चाहिए, हुजूम नहीं, एक मुसाफिर भी काफिला है मुझे. तू मोहब्बत की कोई चाल तो चल, हार जाने का हौसला है मुझे. क्या खबर मैंने चाहतों में फराज, क्या गवाया है और क्या मिला है मुझे. So loosely, it's Hindi, Urdu, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it's by a very famous poet, and I'm glad none of you get it, because after that, mine will fall flat. Oh, you did? Shit. Don't forget it. Yeah, because then mine would fall flat. So yeah, so basically what he's trying to say is that love is a very, very important part of our lives, but nobody ever understood what it actually is. So, you know, and it's just, that's what I've been trying to put together here. So it's called What Love Is. I still remember the day I saw her face, that sparkle in her eyes, that smile full of grace. How deep was her touch, how warm her embrace. My mind said slow, but my heart would just race. I gave love my fears, tears, and my years, but I still don't know what love is. Is love affection, or is it hate? Does it come early, or is it late? Is it difficult or easy? Is it classy or sleazy? Is it compliance, or is it defiance? Or is it everything in every alliance? Love is oh so incredibly seducing, and the only way to win is by losing. So erase your tabs, stop expecting back, because if you're keeping score, you don't know what love is.
Hi, everybody. Hey, so I have some Halloween-themed poems that I like to bring out. A couple of them are a couple years old. The other one I wrote last year. So the first one is called Brooms. It's for all the witchy women out there. Yeah. It goes like this. Brooms. We grab our brooms and then we take to the air. October is upon us, a stale crispness in her season's delightful ensnare. Contrary to the summer sisters, that all alluring flare, her black beauty beckons me in and embrace this prescience, shadow's candlelit rapture, entrance opened up to winter. Whether fey or fray, dark or fair, the leaves they die, the branches lay bare. The heat is long past, a crackling fire in the hearth. Take to the sky after my barefoot walk, where I dig my toes into the cold, frost-kissed earth. And now, alas, women of the night take flight, with the sanguine moon as our guide. Witches, we ride. And there's a sanguine moon on Saturday. Yes. So, hello. Okay, this one is called Black Cat. It's got a little bit of a melody to it. It goes like this. Black cat, your reputation is shat, but I never believed it. I never conceived it. Ill tides, they will rise at your sight. Perpetualized is this notion. You are a bad omen, said to bring gloom and dark doom. If you cross a one's path, all fortune consumed, but I never believed it. I never conceived it. Black cat, surely you're no hazmat. How did the superstition ignite? Why did they peg you a blight? Black cat. All right.
When I came into the Owl tonight, this young lady, the young poet over here, was telling her poem about her cat. What is your name? Alix. So I came here to tell a poem about a cat too, but this was my best friend's cat who died during a period when she needed her cat the most. As my best friend was dying of cancer, her cat was killed in a horrific accident, and it caused her health to plummet. And I watched this happen. And so I wrote this poem for my friend in the hopes of lifting her spirits. From Butters to Christina. You and me. You saved me, and I saved you. Nurturing moments in silence, no words needed. Time to play, time to eat. Moments of warm, sun-drenched days on your lap. Camaraderie, absorbing God's light. Days of bone-chilling cold we both entered out of, into our home, our haven, where we lay on the sofa in our happy room. Thank you, my friend, for sharing this small but insurmountably loving instant in time with me. Time has shifted me, as all things must. But know I remain beside you, surrounding you. My unconditional love, serenity, and calm encompasses you. Know me, feel me, breathe my essence. It is through you that I live on. I will walk beside you to the day you shift, and once again, walk beside me.
Hi, guys. Okay. 2 seconds here. Okay, I think I'm gonna read one, maybe two. They're both kind of ones that I want to develop into tracks, into songs, but for now I'll just read them spoken word, so. This first one is called, I'm gonna sit down because that's like less pressure maybe. Sorry. Okay. The first one is called Dragon's Den. Mass hallucination. The institution has been instilling voices in my head telling me to wake up, go to bed, get to work, get an education. But can't they hear my heart breaking? The system that slithers into our hearts, it pulls us apart and it leaves us out to wither, pits us against one another, abandons us, abandons our mothers and our brothers. So many of us know no way, none other than to go chase the dragon like she's our only lover. But I hope you can tell your devils from your demons and never stop chasing the dreams that you believe in. Don't you know that your power is a war that has been waging on the off chance that you'll start raging against them all with hatred? But that's what they want, to break you down and use your drive as a weapon slain by society. This won't stop until they capture your spirit for their crown, claiming it's for the good of creation, but really it's keeping us down. So they keep us distracted, using autocorrect to keep us redacted, and in the midst of it all, we watch the rise of the market fall like leaves. Meanwhile, it transpired that our enemies who were exiled were just in disguise allies, needing a helping hand instead of denial by an entire global nation. So then are we all just chasing a dragon? And what's in it for us to go face to face with a beast with an eye of gold, hungry, bloodlust? Chasing her won't do anything for the pain that we all bury and hold. The money that they want us to make, the broken system that we love to hate, burning our victims instead of facing the blame, choosing our vices instead of thinking straight, wasting times for dimes just to make it to the next day. So really, if you're trying to catch up to life, stop fighting. Enter the temptation. Open the window to the soul. Look it dead in the eyes. Conquer your fear. Smile wide. Swallow your pride. Don't let it swallow you whole. Have the faith to not give in like you did last time. Build the foundation to find your strength again, and instead of listening to what the system says, remember that it's only temporary when you let the pain soak in. You have to face your fears to make it through the dragon's den.
Okay. So my poem for tonight is one that I wrote called That Which Is Grows. Shadows fall on shattered glass, a gentle breeze from my past. First the beginning, for that was now, the future unwritten, till then I am found. I was racked, a tortured soul, for a healing solve I did not know. Too crowded to sit, too tall to stand, I shriveled inside to meet their demands. For one then others, a cacophony grew, and lost I felt, alone in a room. And hollow I cried, and silent I wailed, till the tingle of love in my heart prevailed. Steady it grows, though careful it grew, till the words slipped out, I love you. You opened the window with brick in hand. Your gentle touch turned the glass to sand. And the darkness slipped and lost its hold, for you are my sunshine in my soul.
Okay, thank you. To be honest, I don't know that this is the poem I wanted to write, but it is the one I'm going to read. And part of that is to figure out why it's not the one I wanted to write. Okay, so this one's called How Was I to Know? How was I to know you weren't what you seemed? To think that at one point you were like me and that you might have anything I might need. I thought you wanted to be better, but you really didn't care. Instead, you came to resent me as you used all that was there. Not as it was meant to, but every other way, the better to troll me and mess with my head. You're a drunk and a deadbeat, a liar and a thief, but I thought you were honest, at least with the big things. You talk of shame, but the problem is you have none. As you play one person off another in plausible denial manipulation. You pissed on my walls, and then you denied that I cleaned it up. And not just 1 or 2 times, but for more than a month. I'm willing to be understanding of people who aren't in their right mind, but your decisions while sober are while I'm leaving you behind. Did you plan it from the outset, or was it a moment of spite? You sold me on the dark web on Friday the 13th. Good to know how little our friendship was worth, and how you're ready to burn it all down because you don't care about material things. Try that when they're yours, and not just what sticky fingers bring. I have 2-factor authentication, and it shows me when you try to log into my things. How was I to know you weren't what you claimed? What I learned from you is just how easy it is to fake things to those who want to believe. You live in a bubble of your own conceit, and your life is an exercise in the suspension of disbelief, and you wonder why I wanted you out of my life? You don't understand me. You don't know me. You don't speak for me. You don't control me. You don't have a line on me. You don't have the inside track. You don't own me, so stop pretending you do. Get out of my life and get out of my head.
So good to be back. I missed you guys. I've been just floating around, you know, I don't know when I was here last, but here I am. So I have a new poem that I actually wrote last year around this time, and I just found it yesterday, and I don't even remember writing it. So it's called, it doesn't have a name. So I came into this world through a dark void, and I must return to the void to be born again. I fell into a dream and woke up to a light that mimics the divine light, but I'm realizing it is not the divine light. I keep rushing to it, seeking love, but keep burning like a moth to a flame. I must wake up from these thoughts of salvation, because it keeps me in the cycle of judgment and distortion. Through my breath, I surrender once again. I'm here to hand in my resignation. If the concept of sin is only for the purpose of learning discernment, am I taking on another's projections? Who is this angry man in the underworld who is saying, I am your God, you only serve me? Because the one I became one with is all love. You are not my God, I said to him. My God never speaks to me that way. Whereas you leave us to divide and damnation. Shackles around our necks, sent home with checks, living like prisoners, performing for billionaires, forced to fit into molds that keep us from being bold. Going up the ladder does not lead to freedom, but martyrdom. Kept in the in-between, constantly mediating, while our energy is drained and our flesh is rotting from within. That doesn't sound like love to me. I have gained my share of divine wisdom. I will not bow to a man made with stone. My power is mine. It is not for me to give away. But while asleep, it is so easy to be led astray. My mind just wants to wonder and ponder, curious and delirious, but now I have learned to be still. Pass me the bill. I'm ready for the real thrill. I was born to death, made to think it is life, until I came to the realization that it is all a lie. I've walked the netherworld where I was stripped of all shame and left naked. I sat in the chamber with no wind, atop the bones of all my children, asking why? But now I know how to discern between spirits. Your goal is to keep my spirit divided, stuck in mind games I will no longer tolerate. I embrace all of me, the divine and the dark feminine. I didn't eat the apple from the tree of life to be perfect. I ate it to be human. Oh, wise one, you already knew that. Man, be wise. You must learn the dark and the light to achieve balance, to be born again. Shameless I am, shameless I am, shameless I am. I will destroy and create again and again until I am united with my lover who gave me equal power. What is there to fear when we are both fire and water, build with stone, cleanse with water, shape with wind, burn with fire? Breathe in spirit, I'm born again. I will destroy and recreate until we are one spirit. I just keep going until I'm perfected into the one so that I can reunite with my lover. I'm an alchemist, the golden compass, the sun. Now I remember who I am.
Hello. I have two poems because I couldn't decide which one. This is called My Intentions. I intend to rule the world, but can or will I do? I intend to climb my mountains, but each time I tried, they grew. My intentions dwindle and sour with the days that pass and flow. Will my intentions ever make something I can hold in my hands and show? Will I intend what I finish,
or does it perhaps diminish when I come to my here unplanned? I think I'll intend to intend, and each time that intent falls flat, I'll grab it again, step back up to bat, and intend each dead end to be more. I look in myself and see an empty bookshelf of all the words I left unsaid. And when I close my eyes, leaving only relief and soaked sighs, I find nothing but darkness and dreams. They wrench my soul, hands on my wrists and feet they pull, and dirt they shove down my throat. No rest for a saint who's been pulled down from those pearly gates, and now rests as a sinner in hell. But rest I wish for, and dream of in waking moments, and whisper into the iced wind. To be with you once more, to rest from this constant bloody war, to fall into your arms and sleep. To smile again, find the hand of a friend, to snack on blushing cherry reds. So I'll pray and I'll sow and raise my face to the sky and wait for the lily-white flakes. Soft kisses on my nose as the snow gently blows. That's when I'll know it is done. The red peels away, and you're with me to stay, and my breath puffs out like smoke.
Hello? Little red bike goes along. Whoopee! Cricket to ear, beast to tree, forest to mountain. A boy walks barefoot in the snow. I like haikus. The wind unbuttons the trees. Inside, a flower looks to the sun. Butterfly woman talks not, writes not, smiles often, with eyes that see in the heart. Thank you.
Hello. I didn't expect to be sharing tonight, but here we are. A little backstory for these two. I just spent a year in Austria, so these are just some thoughts that I collected throughout the year. First one doesn't have a name. People come and people go. I'm telling you now, you helped me grow. Some stayed for a while, others left too fast. You all brought experiences that are sure going to last. With many I laughed so hard that I cried, but when the real tears came, I tried to hide. I would lock myself away so that no one would see, but it was during these moments I saw what truly mattered to me. Selflessness, empathy, compassion, intentionality, disciplines and respect, but most importantly, my family. These are things people have taught me and I'm learning to pursue. My prayer for this year is that they will hold true. Every person I met had a story to tell. In my mind and in my heart, their smiles will dwell. The love and respect that each one of them have shown proves they truly are good people, right down to the bone. When I had to say goodbye, my heart would shatter. 6 hours or 83 days, time didn't matter. First conversations impacted me even then, but many of these people I may never see again. This part is brutal, it's sad, but it's true. And sometimes I bite off much more than I can chew. But no matter the person, no matter the place, the memories from this year will never be erased. And then this second one is about an Austrian boy. It's called I Shouldn't Have, But I Think I Fell in Love with Him. The way he lived his life is the opposite of what I believe in. It's hard for me to understand, and I don't know where to begin. His choices weren't the best. A couple of times he almost died, but that didn't stop the way I felt inside. The way he smiled, the way he grinned, the way his eyes were warm and welcomed me in. The way he teased, the way he flirted, made it all so very difficult to try and divert it. At the beginning, I was the Canadian girl who worked for his mom. In the end, I was the one he cried for, and I hugged him for so long. He's quite a unique character. You won't find anyone just like him. The way he cares for the people around makes my heart full to the brim. He opened up and told me things he'd never shared before. This made my heart just melt to the floor. He felt safe around me, like he didn't have to pretend. I felt so sad that my time with him had to end. One thing I told him was that I couldn't leave without a kiss. He immediately pulled me close, and we just couldn't resist. There was nothing in my mind except for him and me, and then he said, "You're different," and I felt a sigh of relief. This made me happy, and it was so good to hear, because now I know I can just be me, and he will want me near. He said that he likes me because I'm not like the other girls. I'm the blonde Canadian wakeboarder, the one with all the curls.
Okay, my first poem seems quite appropriate with what's happening in the news. Our CPP sits in her crosshairs, and I wrote this September 26. We work our lives as slaves to meager pay, our privilege simply eking through each and every day. While moneylenders ring about like sharks, we race in the hamster wheel until it sparks. Is death Alberta's only true escape, or could retirement be a better fate? We send our hard-earned bucks to CPP, dreaming lifelong hopes to be work-free. Remember Alberta's fine police, teachers, and nurses, cursing as their Canada pension vanished into AIMCO purses. Where those billions gambled, cascaded into dust, they squandered the equivalent of our Alberta Heritage Trust. How does this government imagine to take over half of federal CPP when all the other premiers will surely disagree? With Alberta's population at only 10%, the rest of Canada will rise up in discontent. 2 in 3 Albertans know that APP's a ruse to purloin our hard-won pensions and kill our golden goose. So to keep our planned retirement work-free, Daniel, keep your grubby hands off our CPP.